touchdown. And Jalen Hurts, but it just pulled away for the Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles select Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.
What is going on, guys? What is happening? We're just a moment away from the NFL draft. I think, what is it, a couple of weeks from Thursday? And what better time to break it down here and do a 4-round Eagles mock draft, trades galore. Joining me, I've got my man Shane from Chalk Talk. What's up, Shane?
What's up, Dives? I think it's a week from Thursday, right?
A week? I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah, we're like 9-10 days away.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. I'm excited. I got a lot of work to do between now and then on graphics and stuff, but I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Then we got my man from Chalk Talk and from Fox Sports The Gambler on Saturdays. What's up, Mark?
Nothing much, man. I'm repping every team but the Eagles here, but we're here to talk about the Eagles with the mock draft. Obviously, Dives and I have some other focuses in about 4 hours or so. Big game 2 for the Sixers, but I'll try to keep all my focus here on football. I'm pumped for them. This is the best time of the year. We're creeping up towards the draft. All these fake smoke screens and rumors creeping out. I love this stuff. So finally getting a little closer to the draft. We're getting a little bit better of an idea of where people are going to be.
We're officially in the we're officially in the territory of like, don't believe a word you hear from every team. What, Shane? What do you got? What's going on?
I was going to say, you guys would be proud of me. The other night, I turned on the Sixers game for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Not that I was like super interested. I was just curious what mood my Twitter timeline was going to be in later in the day. So
Wow.
I was gathering intel.
Lock it in, Shane. You're watching tonight because we need all that good mojo.
Yeah. If you watched last
You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
I was the good luck.
Yes, absolutely. So we're doing 4 rounds, trades allowed. Who wants to go first? I'll go last.
Shane go first.
Shane, you're going first, man. Go ahead.
I'll go first. And you guys are just going to copy me again.
Yeah. Well, you guys have been copying me the last 3 months, so now it's your turn. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to share my screen. Okay. Okay, here we go. I paused mine at number 10 with the Jets because Kyle Hamilton is still on the board, which is insane. God. So we're going.
And Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was like, well, maybe I should wait another pick, but then you got to trade with Washington. I don't know how that's going to go. So this one, it's kind of weird. I guess Malik went number 2, which maybe happens, and then Kenny Pickett went 6. So 2 quarterbacks in the top 6, which would obviously be great on draft night. So we're going to see what it'll take here to move up to 10. See if the Jets will take 18 and 83. Yeah, we'll do 18 and pick 83 and see if they'll take that to move up to 10. Okay, fine. I'll give them 15. And I'll bump it down to 101 and see if they'll take that. Okay, so we give up 15 and 101 to move up to 10, and I'm going to take Kyle Hamilton, a guy that I just love. Mark loves. Hamilton's probably going to be number 1 on my big board, so that is a slam dunk for me.
Good start here. What about you, Mark? Where are you at?
Let me share it. Oh man, I'm letting things go right now. I simulated to pick 15 here. I had the same thing. Hamilton went 10 here, and I wasn't gonna. I'm not gonna copy Shane. I don't wanna be accused of being a copycat here because I did do that a little bit last time. But I'm definitely a little bit more upset that if you see my screen now here, that Andrew Booth went right before me at 13. So if anyone knows or follows me recently, I have been all aboard the Andrew Booth train. But still a player here that I absolutely love. Have to scroll down just a little bit, or I'll just search out his name here with George Karlaftis, who I actually have as my 5th overall player in the whole draft. The Draft Network has him 25 here. but I'm more than happy to get him at 15. Shore up that edge rusher spot. If you look at the way that the draft had went before that, all the top end edge rushers are going with Thibodeau and Hutchinson and Walker and Jermaine Johnson and those types of guys. So Karlaftis, even if you're not as high on him as I am or Shane is or some people are, he is still the last of a tier in terms of pass rushers. So I'm happy to get him there and kind of not have to worry about D-line for a little bit.
Love it, man. Love it, man. I'm on the board here at number 10. Obviously, I'm trading up. I'm trading up here with the Jets. I've done this so many times. I could do this in my sleep. Ooh. Yeah, I'll give them a 4. They accept the 5th. All right, we're going to make it somewhat realistic here. Do a 4th trade up. And we're taking Sauce Gardner here with pick number 10. I think that's the biggest need right there. I'm dead set on either an edge or cornerback at 15. Trade up for the best corner in the draft. That is Sauce Gardner. And we've got our 1 CB for the next 10 years. I'm good to go. Go ahead, Shane.
All right. Well, George Karlaftis is sitting here on the board for me, and now Mark's going to accuse me if I go get him. So I'm kind of I'm in a tough spot here. I didn't share my reshare.
I got you.
Okay. So I've got several guys here on the board I like. Jameson Williams is still there at wide receiver. He was my wide receiver 3 when we did our draft our first rankings. He's probably my wide receiver 2 now. So he's still there. I don't want Devontae Wyatt. Chris Olave's there. Trent McDuffie, who's a guy that I really like. Karlaftis is still there. Kyer Elam, Treylon Burks. So there's several guys here that I still really like. I was entertaining the thought of a trade down. I'm going to go. I was trying to work something out here before my screen got shared, so we weren't waiting on me. But nobody really wants to move up very badly. So I'm just going to stand here and I'm going to make the pick. I'm going to go. I'll stay away from Karlaftis. I'm going to just go with Jameson Williams. He's my wide receiver too, but I've mocked Treylon Burks to the Eagles so many times. I'm going to switch it up here. So I'm going to go Jameson Williams, get a deep threat. We're assuming his knee is okay, and now we'll address the offensive side of the ball and get a weapon for Jalen Hurts in the offense.
All right, Jameson Williams there. I think that's the sexy pick right now for the Philadelphia Eagles at 15. What about you, Mark? I got you're on the board.
So I'm at 18 now with that. Obviously, pick Karlaftis at 15. And I'm looking to move down a little bit because I still got a couple players I really like on my board, with Jameson Williams being number 1 available, Devin Lloyd being number 2 available, Treylon Burks being number 3, Chris Olave being 4, and Nakobe Dean being 5. I'd be fine with any of those 5. So I'm going to move down just so slightly with Pittsburgh here. I'll pick up a 3rd-round pick. In the process. Let's try to get a 7th in there too. Why not? Give me a 7th-round pick and send the offer. The Steelers said yes, so we're moving down 2 picks, picking up a 3rd-round pick. My screen's being slow here, but I have a couple offers here. The Packers trying to move up for the 7th rounder. Get out of here. Get out of here, Arizona. Get out of here, New England. And no one, and the 2 picks in between were quarterbacks. Pittsburgh moved up to take Pickett. New Orleans took a quarterback. So none of the players that I wanted have been taken. So I'm going to actually look to move down again. I'm going to give the Dallas Cowboys a call real quick to see if they want to move up. Last year we made a trade with Dallas as well. So it'd be funny if we made trades with our rival back-to-back years. But let's try to see if we can pick up a 2nd. I'll include my 4th is a lot. Let's give a 5th and a 7th, and we'll trade for a 1st and a 2nd. Move down 4 picks. Oh, the Cowboys are out. Let's give them 2 5ths. I don't, whatever. It's probably overpaying, but
Mark's like, it's a 4-round mock. I'll give him another 5th.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. It's saying very likely. I've done this trade 100 times from 18.
Wow, Dallas is saying absolutely not.
Let's try the 4th. This is ridiculous. This is wasting time. But let's go. Let's try Arizona, and I won't be as greedy.
That's so funny.
That's ridiculous. But We'll try the first and second from Arizona. And they accepted it. So I ended up getting a better trade by moving to Arizona instead of Dallas. That was stupid, Dallas. But KC wants to do a trade. I'm out. Jameson Williams off the board. Chris Olave off the board. So that leaves me with a really, really interesting decision with two players that I really, really like. This is really tough. Do I go with the linebacker in Devin Lloyd and kind of end the drought of picking linebackers high at all in Philadelphia? Or do I go with the wide receiver in Treylon Burks that gives you such high upside? It's really tough. I have Lloyd ranked higher, but the more and more that I do these mocks, the more and more I end up taking a wide receiver. But I'll go back to my roots and take Devin Lloyd here. It's a guy that I've loved all offseason, so I'm not going to, I haven't taken him very recently in mocks. I've been so focused on receivers, corners, edge. But linebacker's still in need, even with some of the signings that they made. And Devin Lloyd, I do kind of look at in sort of a Kyle Hamilton type mold where he does transcend the position that he plays due to how good he is on the field. And similar to Treylon Burks, the other guy that I was looking at in the conversation, his 40 time might not have been what you want it to be, but watch Devin Lloyd and Treylon Burks on tape and tell me that speed's a problem. And you absolutely can. I know that Shane had a nice little tweet about that yesterday about Treylon Burks. The same goes for Devin Lloyd. So either of them, trading down to 20 and then trading down again to 23, taking either of them after picking up a second and a third round pick. Guys I would absolutely consider at 18. Those are, while Shane moving up for Kyle Hamilton, Dobbs moving up for Sauce. If that happens, I'm going out and buying a jersey immediately for either of those guys, and I'm going to be sky high. So I love those mocks as well. But this is a little bit more of moving back a little bit, trying to pick up a couple day two guys. So we'll see how that strategy works out in the coming picks here.
Love it, love it, love it. I have the same concept. I'm going to be trading down here with the Green Bay Packers, the way the board has fallen. Let's see if they accept. So I'm going to give them a first, a third, and a seventh. I'm going to trade back and get 22, but also get their second round pick here to see if they accept this offer. They do not. All right, let's give them a fifth.
It seems like teams are finally getting used to the idea that if Howie calls, you should not pick up the phone.
I think Arizona's easier to trade with if you want to try them. They're easy for me.
Man, oh man. There we go. All right, we're on the clock here. I'm at pick 22, and I'm just going to run to the podium and take George Karlaftis here at pick 22. So I traded back, got a second rounder as well. I had to give up a couple fifth rounders. Who cares? I got a 3-down starter at edge, and I've hit my two top positions at Sauce at 10, and now Karlaftis at 22. Shane, I believe you're up. I'll share your screen.
Nope, we clicked it at the same time. Okay, I made a small trade up to 37. I gave up a 6th round pick and 51 to get to 37. With a couple of guys falling here that would be interesting. Kenyon Green, he should have been a 1st round pick. He's a really good offensive guard, and I know you're replacing Brandon Brooks. That gives you the opportunity to put either Isaac Seumalo at center or to put Landon Dickerson at center. Gives you a lot of flexibility. I'm very anti taking an offensive lineman in the 1st round. I'd be fine with it in the 2nd round. You've also got Kyler Gordon here, who's a corner from Washington that I'm pretty high on. I think he's in that early day 2 realm of cornerbacks. Would be a big get for the Eagles, but those aren't the guys I traded up for. The guy I traded up for is interior defensive lineman Perion Winfrey out of Oklahoma.
Nice.
Big riser during the Senior Bowl. We don't have an edge yet, so we're addressing the defensive line. I know it's a totally different position, but you've got Javon Hargrave, Fletcher Cox, both essentially on 1-year deals. The Eagles love the trenches. I think they're going to love Winfrey. I think he'd be a great pick here. So I'm taking Winfrey at 37.
All right. What about you, Mark?
So I'm moving up here also. I'm moving all the way up to 34, or I'm trying to move up to 34 with the Detroit Lions. I'm going to try to offer here. I might as well try 55 first. They're a little smarter than that. We'll try 51 and 101 at first, 434, trading a second and a third for the second pick of the second round. And the Lions accepted it, and that means that the guy that I was considering with Devin Lloyd at 23 is still on the board. So I'm going to lock up Treylon Burks here in the second round. And that way I'm filling 3 huge needs right away with George Karlaftis, Devin Lloyd, and Treylon Burks. And I still have a second and 2 third-round picks in the cupboard. So moving up there didn't kill my day 2 at all. So I'm definitely happy with where I'm at.
Love it, man. All right, I'm on the board here. There we go. All right, I'm going to hide this real quick. I was also thinking Treylon Burks, but I'm going to go a different route here at pick number 35. So I'm going to trade again with the Jets. We're double dipping with the Jets. See if they – wow, they really want to trade up. See if they accept the 7th. All right, I'll give them the 5th. All right, so we're really doubling down on some of these top picks here. And for once, I'm not Howie Roseman, so I'm going to go safety here in the top of the second round, and I'm going to go Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State. And the Eagles finally get a big-time playmaker in the box, very athletic safety here out of Penn State. Man, I'm ecstatic. That's my selection.
All right, that puts me back up. I traded back a couple spots from 83 to 86 with the Raiders to pick up a 4th-round pick, just because I wanted to make an extra pick in this draft. So I'm scanning through here. Tyreek Smith's a guy that I like that I've talked about before. Let's see, we've already addressed wide receiver, safety, interior defensive line. Linebackers, there's not necessarily anybody on the board right now that I like in this spot. Maybe sort of the same with cornerbacks. Tight end could be an option for us as well, but I feel like it's a little early for that. I'm going to stick here. I'm going to take Sam Williams, the edge out of Ole Miss. The Eagles, could use a guy there. He's not going to come in and play a lot right away. Their depth is pretty well set, but he's just another developmental piece that they can work with down the road, and hopefully a guy that can step in next year or down the road as Brandon Graham starts to fall off, he starts to age, etc. So we missed out on the first round, the first wave of good edges, but we pick up a developmental piece here in the 3rd round.
All right, what about you, Mark?
So I'm here at pick 55, the pick that I picked up from Arizona. And it's interesting because a lot of the players that I would look at that are available are positions that I've filled already, whether that be DNs or whether that be, another receiver. So I'm looking at a couple positions here. I'm looking at, let me take a look to see what the cornerback position's looking like. I do believe Tariq Woolen went off the board, so that kills that idea a little bit. But let's go back and take a little bit of a boring pick then and look at the offensive line. And I'm looking at Sean Ryan from UCLA, who is probably a guard, probably also has the versatility to play a little tackle if you needed him to as well. So I definitely like that versatility from him there. And that's a guy who doesn't have to play right away, but I think is ready to if he has to, even though I do think the upside with him is really high due to some of the traits. And he was a very good recruit going into UCLA and showed a lot there as well. So Sean Ryan's a guy who it seems like he's kind of rising as we get closer to the draft.
Yep, no doubt. I'm on the board here sitting at pick 53, my second round selection. Looking at my picks here, addressed the secondary big time, got a 3-down starter at edge. And I need a skill player, and I'm going to go a guy that's an incredibly great athlete, amazing on the outside, great body control, does well tracking the ball down the field, great hands. That is wide receiver George Pickens out of Georgia, man. Pick number 53 is George Pickens here to the Eagles, and that means Shane is on the clock.
All right. I love George Pickens. I've been in on him for a long time. Okay, so I'm here. I've got 2 picks left to close out my draft, 124 and 126. And there's 2 guys on the board that I really want. in Zion McCollum and Jelani Woods. And I'm just trying to decide which one the Dolphins are least likely to take. In reality, the Dolphins should not take either position, but I'm going to take Zion McCollum first here. I mentioned he was my CB10 on our cornerback podcast. Super, super athletic. The top RAS score of any cornerback ever tested. He's a developmental guy, but he should be able to contribute on special teams right away. And, if he can put it all together, his athleticism is going to make him a nightmare in opposing secondary. So probably not a guy that's starting this year, but he's going to stick on the roster in special teams and hopefully be at one of those boom prospects that we've talked about.
All right. What about you, Mark?
So I moved up to the 77th pick here, just using a 7th rounder since I have 84 here anyway. And I'm taking my guy. I don't care. People won't like it. But he's a developmental pick. We're in the 3rd round. We got 4 guys I like who I think can all play right away, who all fit needs right away. Give me Carson Strong. As long as the medicals check out, this guy is an absolute steal in the 3rd round with the arm talent that he has. The medicals are the big concern. And I think it is probably what's going to keep him maybe out of even day 2 into the 4th round. But Carson Strong is a 1st-round talent, in my opinion. So I love Carson Strong and what he brings. And I don't mind it as a situation here either, because I do think you can bring in a backup that's a bit of a project. We're not trying to win now anyway. So I do like the idea of bringing in Carson Strong in the 3rd or 4th round for the Eagles.
Love that pick, man. Love that pick. I think it's going to happen. I do. I do have an inkling that you're going to see probably a day 3 quarterback to the Eagles. But here I'm making a trade with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm moving up from pick 83 to 61. I'm giving them a 4th round next year.
Dibes isn't just trading all his day 3 picks this year. He's trading all of them next year, too.
No, we're still good. All right, pick 61. I'm going to stick to the defense. I'm going to go with the guy I've been very high on from the jump out of Wyoming. Former safety, converted linebacker, Chad Muma. Excels in coverage, great size of 6'3", athleticism, everything you want. The other guy I was looking at is Leo Chenal, who blew up the combine. I never in my wildest dreams expected him to be that athletic. But Chad Muma, I think, fits the Eagles to a T. And that's a guy I've had circled in my round 2 area. And we're getting him here in round 3. And I love this selection. So that is that. Shane, do you have any more picks left?
I do. I've got the one. 126, I'm going to sprint to the board or to the podium to take Jelani Woods, tight end. Yeah. So literally I go 124 and 126, and I get the most athletic cornerback that's ever tested and the most athletic tight end that's ever tested. So we may not win a lot of football games, but we're going to win track meets.
Love it.
And now I'm out of picks.
Okay. I think I'm out of picks too. I could be wrong. Mark, do you have any more picks left?
Yeah, I'm on my last one at 84 here. I've got a tough decision to make. This is really tough. 3 day 2 guys I really like. One's Fidarian Mathis, the interior D lineman from Alabama. One is safety Kirby Joseph out of Illinois, just an absolute ball hawk. And one is cornerback Kobe Bryant, not the basketball player. So, but those are, I see a bit more depth at the cornerback position. So that kind of eliminates Kobe Bryant here for me. So I'm really looking at Kirby Joseph, or I'm looking at Fidarian Mathis, and I already took Karlaftis, who can switch inside a little bit if he needs to. So I'm going to go ahead and take Kirby Joseph, the safety out of Illinois. Just an absolute big play threat. Had a ton of interceptions, I believe 6 last year at Illinois, and I think he's being a bit shortchanged. It seems like he's probably going to be a day 3 guy, and I think he's going to be a top 5 safety in this class and just an absolute playmaker. And if I had the picks to do it, I'd probably trade into 104 or 105 and take Jelani Woods or take, Kobe Bryant or one of the guys I just mentioned. So there's definitely a lot of players that I'm starting to like more at the end of this round 3 tier.
All right. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to put everyone's mocks onto the YouTube channel for voting and onto the Twitter account for voting. But just to recap, here is my squad. I've kind of doubled down on day 2 guys, and I think that would be a good move for the Eagles because there's a lot of really good fits. Sauce Gardner at 10, George Karlaftis at 22, Jaquan Brisker at 35, George Pickens at 53, and Chad Muma at 61. I give this a strong A. I love every single one of these guys. I think all these guys are impact starters at the next level. Really happy about this squad. Any quick hot takes on this team, guys?
It's almost as good as mine.
I think we all did. I think we all did a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, all 5 of those guys play quite a bit year one. Sauce is going to start outside. Karlaftis will be in that edge rotation. Brisker starts at safety. I think Pickens starts as your X, and Muma is going to be he's going to get snaps at linebacker. So that you're getting some guys that are going to come in and make a pretty big impact early, I would think, out of those 5 guys.
Love it. All right, Shane, go ahead, man. I got you up. Oh, sorry.
Okay, we keep doing that. So I went, traded up to 10, took Kyle Hamilton, stood at 18, took Jameson Williams, made a small move up to 37 for Perion Winfrey. At 86, took Sam Williams, and then in the 4th round, took flyers on Zion McCollum at corner and Jelani Woods at tight end. So I like how the draft turned out. That gap between 37 and 86 is so big. So a lot of guys I liked went off the board there. I'm not crazy about the Sam Williams pick. I think he could be. I mean, he's going to be a developmental piece. I don't think he's going to be a big impact guy for him early on, but. I really like the top 3 and then the athleticism. You know, if one of those 2 4th rounders hits, they should be a really good player just with those athletic traits that they have.
I think if the Eagles end up with any draft with any sort of combination of Kyle Hamilton and Jameson Williams, I'm done. I'm good. Yeah. I'm honestly good. That's Howie proof.
Who was your second pick after Hamilton too, Dives?
For me, like who's my number 2?
No. After you picked Hamilton, who was your second first-round pick?
He picked Sauce.
I had Sauce.
After you picked Sauce, I'm sorry. Karlaftis, yeah. Both of those combos are pretty hard to beat for me. So I think I probably came in 3rd here if I had to guess. But I think that maybe you could argue that my 3rd guy is probably the best of the third guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of committed to staying at 15 here because every time I do these, I end up trading up for Hamilton or Sauce. You guys stole my guys from Hamilton and Sauce. I didn't want to copy you, but so I ended up picking at 15 and still getting a top 5 guy on my board in Karlaftis, and then I traded down twice to move down to 23. It was deciding between Lloyd and Treylon Burks. Picked Devin Lloyd because I was more confident I could get a receiver in the 2nd round, whether that be a Pickens, a Dotson. It ended up being the exact guy I was comparing with Lloyd at Burks. So I love a Karlaftis, Lloyd, Burks trio to start the draft. Those are 3 guys that play right away in almost 32 teams, in my opinion. So, and then you have Sean Ryan, who a little bit of a project, but I also do think could play right away due to his versatility. Carson Strong, an absolute project and a backup for now, but it's a 3rd round pick. And then a safety in Kirby Joseph, who I think if that's the case, I would like to bring in Honey Badger at that. I'd like to bring in another safety still, but Kirby Joseph, I think, could be a nice depth piece. And I think his playmaking instincts do give him a pretty high ceiling. So I give myself like a B+ A- here just because I didn't trade up.
I love your top 3 are just bangers, man. Absolutely bangers.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might win it because you took a linebacker in the 1st, and people will like that. I'm not crazy about a linebacker in the 1st, but I would have been totally cool with Burks at like 18. So trading down and then picking up Lloyd and Burks both, like that's a slam dunk.
Yeah, Burks is probably the most valuable, probably the best value pick out of all these 3 teams.
Well, I think Hamilton and Sauce at 10 is right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but I think I knew once I took Lloyd, and really in my head, the reason I took Lloyd was because once you take him, I was just going to trade up as soon as one of Burks or Pickens got taken. Because I really do think if you put I think there's a lot of not one guys or generational guys. I'm not going to go that far, but Jameson Williams is a special talent because of his speed. Drake London is a special talent because of his height and what he can do at that height. I think that Treylon Burks has the ability to be a special talent due to the speed and the height and the body, and a lot of DK Metcalf, AJ Brown vibes there. And then with George Pickens, I think he has a ton of untapped potential that we haven't even seen yet. So I think all 4 of those guys and all 4 of them fit so perfectly with Devontae Smith. I would love to just get any of those guys. If that means we have to take other positions in the 1st and take a George Pickens in the 2nd, I'd totally be down with that. But Treylon Burks, I do have a good bit higher than George Pickens, who's a guy I love, a guy that I would be really psyched to walk away with in the second round. I actually think wide receiver is the number one need for the Eagles going into the draft right now. So definitely want one of those guys.
The only reason it's not number one for me is because I like this. Like Treylon Burks in round 2,
Yeah.
I'm all in, man. Like that's it right there. But I agree that talent-wise, one of the top positions easy in the draft as well. So I've got to wrap it up. I got a meeting at 4. Lead us off, Shane. Where can we find you, man? What do you got going on there? And we'll do some plugs.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at @halfandhalf_TPL. I've got a Treylon Burks tweet blowing up right now, so go make unsubstantiated claims about him interviewing poorly that nobody can back up in my comments. I'm getting a lot of those that I don't get. But you can follow Chalk Talk, where the three of us have been ranking all of our prospects. We've done a top 5 or a top 10 for every position in the draft, excluding specialists, special teams. And we're going to get a couple more podcasts in before our live draft show. Going to do some mocks, a draft mailbag. So if you got any draft questions, send them to me on Twitter. You can DM me. Follow Chalk Talk. Follow me at @halfandhalf_TPL.
Love it. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I'll be on those Chalk Talk episodes. I think we're doing one Tuesday and Thursday, if I had to guess. Looking at some big boards as well, so that'll be fun. And then on Saturday, I have my show on Fox PHL, The Gambler, 11 to 1. That'll be fun. A week away from the draft at that point. I think there's a Sixers playoff game that day as well. Obviously, the Phillies play that day, so a lot of stuff to talk about on that show. And I had an NFL draft segment planned out. I had my script written last week during the Tough Cover show. Didn't get to it because of too much Sixers talk, too much NBA talk from last Saturday. But this week, I make a promise right here on the Painted Lines that I will talk about the NFL draft on my radio show on Saturday and plug some of the work that we've been doing here at the Painted Lines, because we're absolutely killing it, especially Dives up there. Anytime I'm at my buddy's house, we watch. We usually have a game on one TV and he's got YouTube going on the other TV. I just stare Dives' positional rankings because he's not a college football guy, so he's a big Eagles fan. I try to show him like these guys, and I think Dives are the best videos on the internet for those types of things. Just a brief look at what a prospect is, some of the tape and the measurables, stats. I think it's great stuff. The Painted Lines has absolutely killer stuff for the NFL draft.
Dude, thank you, man. Thank you. And we'll be doing a watch party live on draft night, day 1, day 2. Tons and tons of content coming. So literally 130 plus video reports, highlight reels during the draft. We'll be sharing all of it, talking about all the picks, grading every single pick. It's going to be so much fun, man. It's literally like 5 months coming into one night. Well, 2 nights in a day. So it's going to be awesome, guys. Please be sure to subscribe. Follow everyone here. Shane, Mark, go check out his show on Saturdays at Fox Sports, The Gambler. Check out Chalk Talk. Man, it's going to be a ton of fun. Guys, again, watch party live here at the Painted Lines. For Shane, for Mark, for myself, stay awesome, everyone.